Roma Gypsies in Ireland are getting paid €750 per week by the Irish welfare state to do nothing. Today we have a crazy picture. This is a social protection receipt that fell out of a Roma Gypsy's pocket on the bus. Here it says that they're getting paid €756, which, by the way, for those who don't live in Ireland, and are living abroad, that is well over the average working person's wage. The average working person's wage in Ireland is like €400 to €500. Even that is pretty steep. If a Roma Gypsy not from Ireland is getting welfare payments like that, that isn't an Indigenous Irish person, that's not from here, that isn't working, that has never contributed to the state, is getting that much money, I just think it's a travesty, guys. If you're not contributing to Ireland, that is a travesty. We all know since Eastern European countries have now joined the EU and this sort of EU state that we now live in, it's gone absolutely crazy with welfare payments. They're coming over here, Roma Gypsies, Bulgarian Gypsies, and they're living here for free, and then they do heinous crimes sometimes, or else, at the minimum, they're just not contributing to society. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think that the welfare payments have gone way too far. I think it's like €240 now a week for someone to be on welfare in Ireland, which 100% should only be for Irish people with passports. If you're not living here, working here, helping contribute to the culture, the heritage, the economy in certain ways, you shouldn't even be entitled to this, guys. But these people are coming in, they're flooding into Ireland because of the flipping open borders system, the EU system. That's why I think we should leave the EU immediately, okay? Ireland is an island. We can easily solve these issues, guys. For anyone that's saying we can't solve these issues, we 100% can. Okay, so the picture says here, fella in work, his mate drives the buses. Roma gets on trying to use a kid's leap card. He gets into a fight with them, and this falls out of their pocket. So if you guys can see here, this is job seekers allowance. Now, this Roma Gypsy, I've never seen a Roma Gypsy ever work a job ever in my whole entire life living in Ireland. I've lived here for 25 years. So Roma Gypsies don't really do that, guys. They have organized begging. I've seen them for many, many years. I go to Eastern Europe every year for a month or so. And it's very, very common to see them just begging, organized begging, or committing fraud, these different crimes, and it's crazy to see that in Ireland they get given €756 in social protection. I mean, that is crazy, guys. So this receipt, it says, contains personal information. Please keep safe. So the Roma Gypsy couldn't even keep their receipt safe. Okay, they let it fall out of their pocket. Their PPS number is right there. They scribbled out their name. Okay, it says that the pay period was from the 16th of the 7th. So that's from July the 16th to July the 22nd. So it's a full week payment. And the amount that they got was $756. I mean, that is unflippin' believable. I've never seen a payment like that ever in my life, guys. And has anyone else, everyone that lives in Ireland, leave a comment down below. Have you ever seen a payment that high from anything, guys? I mean, I don't know what you have to be doing in Ireland to be entitled to that. Maybe you're on disability or something, you're claiming for a business. I mean, I don't know, guys. I have no idea. So it's an absurd amount of money to be going to one person. It's absolutely crazy, guys. So the next video we have here is from Gripped Media, talking to Ministers Sean Canny and Noel Grealish. Say the government should have checks at the border to ensure that individuals who are given deportation orders in fact leave the state. So this is in reference to deportation orders given to criminals in Ireland. If you are given a deportation order by the court judge, then you have to leave the country. But there's actually no check whether or not to see you're actually left the country or not. So you're just basically given, free reign to leave the country on your own. Okay, which means that you're never going to do that, guys. There have to be people that arrest you after the court proceeding and bring you straight to Dublin Airport and have you seen yourself on the flight home. I don't think letting people to their own devices to leave whenever they like is going to be good, guys.
Ministers, the Justice Minister just recently said that the deportation system that we currently have doesn't allow the government to provide accurate figures on how many people have complied with the deportation orders. He was saying that we don't record whether or not somebody has actually left. And so when he was asked during a parliamentary question for the figures, he said that those figures weren't available and he wasn't able to provide them. Do you think that we should check if somebody has been given a deportation order that they have in fact left the state after the fact?
Absolutely. Look, if we're to manage the immigration system, we need to know and have the knowledge of who's here, where people are, and all of that. So I think it's important that information is made available. Yeah. And I think, when we look at it, probably we've been so overrun by people coming into this country that there's lots of things which weren't right. But I have every confidence that Minister Jim O'Callaghan is putting things right now and will continue to do that.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Minister? I might ask for your take.
No, I'm looking forward to going in to seeing the National Development Plan this morning. It's going to be focused on housing delivery, which is the number one issue. And I have to say, I think Jim O'Callaghan is doing an excellent job as Minister for Justice. And I think that it is right. If someone gets a deportation order, they must leave the state, and that information should be made available to the Minister. So hopefully that will happen soon.
So yeah, I'm not so sure Jim O'Callaghan is doing excellent. I wouldn't say his work is excellent, but he's definitely deporting 30, 40, 50 people every single week now, every month. And it's good to see that, guys. I've saw deportations back to different African countries, deportation back to Baltic states, Eastern European states, for criminals and people that are living here illegally. Like, if you're breaking the law here, either you agree with the rule of law or you shouldn't live in Ireland. Because, if you don't agree with the rule of law, guys, what the hell are you even doing here, guys? Like, go somewhere else, because there has to be laws in place to keep us safe, okay? So yeah, I wouldn't say Jim O'Callaghan is deporting enough or criminalizing enough people, but hopefully in the future that will happen. The last story here today, guys, is absolutely crazy. Another one here. So this is breaking news from Fatima Gunning of Gript Media. It says, breaking news, Riyad Bouchakr, which is the Algerian man who attacked and nearly fatally stabbed three 5-year-olds and a carer in 2023, I believe, in Dublin, okay? And yeah, he stabbed them and nearly killed them. So it says that he isn't fit to plead to charges he is facing in relation to the stabbing of several young children and a care worker outside a school on Parnell Square in November 2023, his defense team has said. So his defense team, he has a lawyer, he has a defense team that will be defending him. That is, of course, taxpayers' money. But at the same time, it says that they aren't fit, he isn't fit to plead to charges. Why is he not fit to plead to charges, guys? This guy should be in jail for 50 years or deported. This is a serious case, guys. This should be even go to to the big extreme criminal court, because it is the worst case in Irish society. Apart from Ashling Murphy getting stabbed, this is definitely the worst case Ireland has ever seen, guys. It is horrendous that this would happen in broad daylight. Ireland is changing in a way that isn't good, guys. And it is changing in a horrendous way, in a horrendous manner. So let me know your thoughts on that. He should be fit to plead. He should be fit to go to trial, because absolutely, guys, he was fit to do all these stabbings. He was fit to be losing his mind, going crazy when they cut his social welfare, because he worked here for 20 years without any sort of, contributing to the Irish society. He should be going to trial for this immediately, guys. And on top of that, he shouldn't even be given these defense lawyers. This guy should be given the worst defense lawyer, because the state is paying for this guy to be defended in court. It's absolutely absurd, guys. It's absolutely absurd. It's good that we have, innocent until proven guilty in this country. But for people like this, where it's on camera security footage, this guy shouldn't be let out of jail or prison for the rest of his life and be deported back to wherever the hell he came from on top of it. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. We have 13 members now. If you want to support me for just €3 a month, let me know in the comments down below as well what you think about this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.